Okay. Hope everybody's well. Now, I was meant to be doing something completely different tonight, but something happened and thus everything had to change. Let's turn that around. Yeah, I was having a guest on my show, but sadly there was some illness involved and that was a last minute sort of switcheroo. But that's okay because we're going to kind of battle through and try and figure something out tonight. So what have we got in front of us? Well, let's get to this one here. Some of you may have seen me use this on a different show. This is the Electra One. It's a MIDI controller. And I've just been experimenting literally in the last half hour with mapping this to control the Disting EX. Now let's get a close up on the Disting. Yes, because the Disting has just got another update. Now the Disting EX, that is, which brings in a Granulator. I mentioned this last week and it is, it's a fabulous, deep, granular synth. And it's a complete synth voice. And it's very, very cool. Now, yes, I've literally just tried to get this together in the last sort of half hour or so. So it's going to be flaky, but hey, what do you expect from me? Hey, that's what you've come to expect. So that gives me a certain license to be a bit kind of rubbish. Yeah, well, no, let me rephrase that. This whole malarkey, is confusing at best of times. And something like the Disting, which is an incredibly powerful module, is pretty sophisticated and quite deep. Now, when you load in an algorithm, then panning through this control here, it steps us through all of the parameters. Now, the first 6 are always dedicated on all of the algorithms to the 6 inputs, so they can act as attenuators. Beyond 6, that's when you get into the parameters that are specific to this algorithm. Now, with the Granulator, like if we get to number 7, that's where we get buffer size. And then if I was to flick through this, I think there's 61. There's 61 parameters going on here. Then we loop back. Now, and that's all through this titchy little window. So I thought it would be quite fun to explore what the MIDI mapping would be like, which is actually very deep and very comprehensive. So if I just come up to here now, this fella, I'll change the camera in a moment to focus on the screen of this. What I've done is I have mapped like a page's worth. Now, what's that? 6 by 6. So that's just sort of 36 parameters of the possible 61 I've mapped to controls. If I wanted to, I could do more pages. You can have, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you can have up to 12 pages of parameters on this bad boy. I'm just using page 1, where we can see page 1 is lit there. The more pages that would be populated, you'd see them fill up. You can see that white one there, meaning that we're in page 1. Just a few other little bits of cool things about this. This is acting as a USB host. So I'm taking USB out from the KB37 and into the Electra One. And that was super painless and really, really easy. Actually, if I go into here, and I could go into USB host mode. Probably can't see this very well, but it literally came up and it says KB37 walled off mute. It identified it straight away and it enabled me just to root out the MIDI so I can, as demonstrated there. Okay, so that's what we got going on. Now, on this at the moment, we can ignore everything for the time being. The only thing that's happening is the Disting. So I've got MIDI off this little expander here, this little MIDI breakout to the right of it. Let's have a look if we were to come here. Yeah, well, you can see it here. So the MIDI is coming from the Electra One and in there. Okay, so I can play notes. And it's 8 voice. It's an 8 voice granulator. Now, I'm using a sample. So I'm using it at the moment like an instrument. And as I mentioned, it's a full voice. It's a full synth voice and a full 8 voice granulator, which that's pretty awesome. So output level's a little bit quiet. Let's bring it up a bit. Right. So the first thing I did there was, if I go into the loading page here, oh, the knobs, sorry about the angle. I couldn't quite get it up high enough. Or maybe I could. Oh, I'll leave it for now. But if I was to load WAV, then I can flick through the WAV files that are on the Disting. Now, these, you can see labs. These are from the Spitfire Labs range, the free samples, which are fantastic, as I'm sure many of us know. But also just gives us something to load in. Now, I have also I've got a microphone as well, so I can be able to do some real-time manipulation. Or so the plan goes. So we'll see how we get on with that. But initially, we're going to use it like an instrument, and we'll have a look at some of the parameters. Right, so let's load in I'll load in some sort of flute and whirly combo. Okay. So it's converting it in. Very quiet, isn't it? Hang on, let's try and get some more gain out of that. God, why is that so quiet? Okay, it's already gone wrong. How long was that? Why is it so quiet? Maybe I'll try loading in a different sample just in case that sample is a little on the quiet side for whatever reason. Oh, there is a normalize function. Let's enable that. That would make sense. So, where's that strings? I was using a strings earlier that worked, so we'll use that. High string, low strings. Oh, where was it? Quack, quack, quack. Oh, that'll do. Let's just load that one in. Okay, so I've lost my gain. Do you know what? I think the quickest way to get out of this is for me just to quickly load another algorithm in and then go back again. This is, again, I feel terribly sorry for Oz from Expert Sleepers, because every time I try and demonstrate the Disting, I'm a bit rubbish with it. His videos, I should mention, the Expert Sleepers on his channel are very, very informative and very clear. He's very good at it. And something that's super cool with Expert Sleepers, and you know, definitely something you'll appreciate with the Disting, is that every algorithm he's made a little video, like a video walkthrough tutorial for every algorithm. And I think virtually every algorithm. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I haven't got any volume now, so something is amiss. I'm getting MIDI notes, so I'm just going to figure out why that is. Oh, it's a dry gain. No, the dry gain is the through gain of our input. Effect gain, I don't think we need to turn that up, but maybe. Oops. No. Oh, well, it's gone wrong already. Oh, man, you know, this kind of stuff. I've just been playing for the last half hour, really enjoying myself. I thought, this'll show them. I'll show them some competence for a change. And I've lost it already. It's bonkers, isn't it? So, right, why is that? Well, I'm going to do, though, first, I think, just in case it may be that I'm giving it the MIDI that it's getting might be a bit funny, because I don't know what I'm doing particularly with the MIDI. I've mapped it for the first time. I don't know if I'm sending it any spurious MIDI. So what I'll do is just to make sure I've got a sound. And actually, this will give me a reason to explore. In the algorithm, if I go to the Polywave Table, just been released for the Polywave Table are a bunch of very cool presets. And it's a load of them. Let's load in plain pad. Am I sure? Yes. Okay, we have sound. Sound is good. So these presets are really nice, actually, once you start to explore them. Oops. There's a load of stuff in here. Anyway, that isn't the point. That was just proving I've got sound. I got sound. Let's go back to our granulator. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, there is a load of parameters with this granulator. So let's just load in a sample again. Load a WAV, and then we'll get that in. And I have no sound. What have I done? That's annoying. That's so annoying. Gosh, folks, you're so kind to me. I mean, it's just constant incompetence here. So it worked, and now it doesn't, and I don't understand why. Right, it may be something to do with this, but let me just show you this anyway, this thing here. Let's just bring that in a little bit on here. Incidentally, this rather fetching stool, look at that. It's a fully mapped Bristol. And it was a wedding gift courtesy of Mr. Dave Spears. How about that? Okay. So I've mapped a load of parameters, and the way this thing works is you've got rows, you've got 3 rows, and if I toggle the rows here, you can see I can choose which row that is. I can also tap on a parameter as well, and these are then actually touch sensitive controls. You can just barely make out, can you see there, just along the bottom here, it detects what you're touching. Just by so it means that you've got 12 knobs always available, but you can see 36 parameters simultaneously, which is pretty awesome. But any of the controls as well, if I tap on it, I can adjust it like this as well. So you get this kind of long fader, or I can adjust it like that too. And they feel good. These controls feel good. Yeah, this is called the Electra One. And so far, I would say this is the best dedicated MIDI controller that I've ever used. I think it's the combination of touchscreen, hardware. There's a web-based editor for it as well, which lets you get into quite a lot of depth as well. So that is actually well worth checking out. Yeah, I say it's uber customizable, but all of that is all well and good if it doesn't feel good. But I can assure you this actually feels fab. It really feels good. There's like a precision to it and a kind of snappiness to it as well, which feels very satisfying. Anyway, right, so we'll move on from that. Now let's see if we can get some sound back out of this thing again. Oh, there is some sound. There is some sound. Okay, good. this can get... So God knows what I've done with the controls on here now. But anyway, what I'll do is in a moment, once I kind of get things... knobs, Mark Zaffin saying knobs seem a bit close together. They're pretty close, but it isn't a problem. It isn't a problem. They're close, but they're not too close, you know. And as I say, you do get that option to control it from, you know, on the screen as well. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I have no complaints from the interface on that. They are endless encoders. And not the world's greatest sound, but we'll work from this. Anyone seen the trouble in Bristol yesterday? Highly dodgy, I have to say. Very, very dodgy indeed. A lot of my friends were there. I didn't go to the protest. A lot of friends did. And it was an entirely peaceful protest. A bunch of people who were not really part of the main protest. And people didn't recognise who they were. It wasn't like from the, you know, a bunch of people went down and started kicking off trouble with the police. And I can tell you a little story. Now, this is an aside, and it's nothing to do with the Eurorack. And I try not to get too political, but the truth does need to come out a little bit. And I'm not into conspiracy theories. I'm into the genuine conspiracies, the important stuff, which isn't so exciting normally. But I think things like this need to be said. In Britain at the moment, there is more and more movement towards fascistic control of people, which is extremely frightening. The protest yesterday was protesting against a new bill, which really does impact on people's liberties, hence the protest. But how convenient was it for it to kick off? You know, so all your Daily Mail readers around the country will be going, oh, you know, yeah. And it really is going to help this insidious bill through. So I'm suspicious about it. I'm just going to take you back till 2011. And there was some riots right across Britain during the summer. It was quite a lot of unrest. But there was like a kind of proto-riot that happened in April, I think it was, in 2011 in Bristol. Like a number of months before. Now, I say I'm not into conspiracy theories. I saw this with my own eyes, okay? So there was a big gathering of people who were ostensibly protesting about a Tesco which was being built. Sorry, there was a place that was being converted into a Tesco in a little area, called Cheltenham Road, in between Stokescroft and Gloucester Road. Very popular part of Bristol, lots of independent shops and whatnot there. So there was a lot of people who were up in arms about a Tesco coming in. It would put a lot of the smaller businesses, you know, it could disrupt a lot of the local businesses, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this protest, you know, it had been going on for a while, but this one night there was this big protest and it was really good, you know, well-humoured, lots of nice people. I knew a lot of the people who were directly involved in this kind of protest. Anyway, what happened, there's this like side road. At a particular time, a couple of minibuses dropped off a load of people who came running down this side road who were nothing to do with the protest. They ran down and they ran straight into the front line and just immediately started kicking off. They were bussed-in hooligans. They were brought in. They were nothing to do with the protest. They kicked off and they started, you know, setting bins on fire, attacking a police van and stuff like that. I saw this. I know that this was a dodgy thing. My feeling is that they knew that there was going to be unrest, or there was a certain amount of kind of feeling that there was going to be unrest. So I think it was possibly like some sort of staged police kind of thing to try out riot measures, or I don't know. But those people had nothing to do with the protest. They all arrived and they rushed in and started kicking off. And from what I've heard about yesterday, very similar things happened. Anyway, I don't want to go down that too much, but I think it needs to be said because Bristol is a fantastic city full of fantastic people, and it's getting a lot of negativity about this stuff that happened yesterday. So I felt I needed to say that. Okay, I'm going to move on and get back to this, but I hope you appreciate my need to sort of to share this with you. You know, we do need to be vigilant, and we do need to kind of watch out for nonsense and lies and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, right, I've got to find my way back into this now after that little soapbox. Okay, I got some sound going on. Right, let's make something out of this now then. So I'm not entirely... I think I might leave this control for a moment. I'll just work with this little switch just for now. Right, okay. So I'll just pan through some of these... do you know what I think I did then? When I moved the record by mistake, I think as soon as you go into record, that's like turning the record on. I think that wipes the buffer. So I think that's an easy mistake to make. So let's just load in a WAV file again. If this doesn't go very well tonight, I might scrap this show. I tell you what, just in case you've just joined, I did have something entirely different planned for tonight, and I had a guest joining me, but sadly the guest was ill, so we've had to postpone that, and that was quite last minute. So yeah, I'm just trying to just flap around trying to find something to do instead. Okay, let's load in a sample. Some good camera work on this little screen from Zizora. Yeah. It gets in pretty good, doesn't it? It's quite, you can read it. It is a pretty titchy screen. However, these little OLED screens, I find pretty legible, really. And it's good from all angles, you know. You don't have to be looking straight at it. It is pretty small. And my eyesight... I've always had really good eyesight, you know. I was always chuffed about my eyesight. It's starting to go. And I've been told that eyesight goes for everybody. Your ability to focus at a certain distance. It's just something about getting old. It's a bit sad, really, but going to resist getting glasses, though. I'm going to learn to squint. I'm not going to give in. I think as soon as you start wearing glasses, then your eyes just kind of go, right then, let's just kick back and relax and not worry about having to work too hard anymore. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So my deteriorating eyesight, I can still read the thing fine. And from, any distance and any angle. So don't let that little screen put you off. It's all right. It is actually all right. Let's have a look. Let's do this. Right. I want to do... Okay, let's... Spawn mode. So that's the spawn mode of the grains. And there's only two options there. Stochastic or mid-grain. Oh, it's a bit hard to see that somewhere. But rate mean is how fast... so the mean, we see the mean on a lot of parameters, and that is kind of the location. Oh, that's right. I think if how do I do it? Yes, there we are. Oh, double click. We get, sorry, that is a bad angle now. Needs to be tilted up a little bit. But basically, there's a waveform there. And I can move through the waveform. Oops. Oh, yes. Can you see that? Yes, you can. So that is the mean in a way. So wherever that is, then the different parameters will kind of... So if I increase the size, you can see that getting wider now. Okay. The pitch So then I can spread, pitch spread, so there's different gains. Oh, this is... Okay, we're going to get somewhere. We're going to get somewhere. I'm determined. So we've got... So the different things we can control are... Well, if I... So the buffer mean, you can see me moving that around, and then the buffer spread will be... Oh my goodness. Pan mean and pan spread. Ooh. Yes, Matthew Weiner is just saying, heard several stories about what I said happening in the United States. It's absolutely necessary to be on top of civil rights issues in the Western world, especially English language countries. Yeah, we kind of been taken for granted a little bit that democracy and all of those things are, you know, set in stone. They're not. We had to fight for democracy, and sadly, we still are going to need to keep up that fight. But that's why we're musicians, isn't it, really, I think? It's a way of... sort of keeping the fight going in a peaceful way. It sounds like an orchestra tuning up, says Mark. Yes. Well, at the moment, if you just joined, I'm just explaining that I've literally had to do a last-minute switcheroo about tonight's show, so I am sort of just winging it. Everyone says, what's different? But anyway... Now, things do get interesting. I'm going to crank up the main feedback. And there is like a main delay as well. If we turn this up, turn the feedback up. Ooh. Hang on. Let's make it do something. Right, hang on. Let's do this. Let's just come back to here. So, various modes. So when I'm adjusting it, I was adjusting it from the MIDI controller there. So I don't know that... I'll do it from here for the moment, though. So we can see all these different sort of means then. So we kind of got the idea then that the mean is like where it is in the waveform, and then the spread is how much that particular parameter will spread around from where you've set it to be. So, you know, yeah, so we've got rate, size, pitch, and pan, and then delay. Now, when it says delay, it's confusing. What it means really is that sort of means buffer, the buffer delay. Why it's confusing is because there is an actual regular delay effect in here as well. So it uses the word delay. I think it calls it main delay to differentiate. Granular, shape, Gaussian. So Gaussian is like kind of a bell shape. So each of the grains is bell shaped. 2-key, I think, is like a bell shape, but with a flatter sort of head. Triangle, up and down, straight in and out without much sustain. Expodec, inverted, exponential. Oh yeah, look. You can hear how that's affecting that. And then I think, yeah, we got the opposite there. So it gives that sort of backwardy kind of effect as well. Right. Now, we reach opacity. And this is a peculiar term to use, really. What opacity is kind of grain density, I think, maybe another way to describe it. It calls it opacity because it's like, if we fill it up, let's just crank that all the way up. You can hear there's lots of grains going on. And if we took that out, you'll start to hear less grains. So let's crank that up for now. So the LFO will move the mean around. and the speed. So I think actually if we have a look at this, we're starting to see little grains shooting around the top there now. I'm going to sing along with this in a moment. Okay. So let's turn that LFO depth up. Let's crank that up. And let's mess with that LFO speed as well. How many grains can this do at once? I don't know, is the answer. Lots. Now, input feedback. I don't know if this sample constitutes being the input, but when you've got like a microphone in there, it loops it back into itself. Let's see. Let's crank it. Let's crank it. Oh, just a quick thing, just to explain what's happening with the controls here, just in case you don't know. The Disting has got encoders and pots. So this one here, you can see, I can just, in fact, you know, you won't be able to see, get my fingers in the way, but yeah, you can see that. Look, you can go basically from nothing to maximum in like next to no time, or you've got above like an endless encoder that clicks for precision. So that's pretty cool. So we'll try then main feedback. Okay, I'm not really hearing that doing much. Here we've just got a sort of standard attack and release. I'm going to try and find my way into some sort of musicality with this now. I'm just going to nip back, I think, to change the shape. We've got that backward sort of sounding one at the moment. I'll keep it on the Gaussian for the moment then. Just put a massive reverb on it, Native VS is suggesting. That's my normal get out. Do you know what? I normally have the Eventide H9 plugged in as a sort of, as an escape strategy. But actually, right next door to the Disting EX, we do have a Disting Mark IV. Let's see if I can drop out of here a little bit. Can't really see. But anyway, it's here next door. And that is set up. Oh, sorry. Keep knocking. Also, let me apologise. The little table that this is on. My normal table is in use. And this little table is well wobbly. So look at that. Zoomed in like, I'm sorry. So if you see me wobble, that's because I'm knocking it. Okay. But yeah, so the Disting Mark IV, which is plugged in next door, has actually got that's set up as a reverb. So I think, yeah, why not? Why not just nip that across to there? And then nip them across. And then I think that will give us a reverb. Let's put the arpeggiator on. Latching. Why is that not latching? Oh my goodness. If anyone's listening to this. Just a quick thing about the, if I just go to this, just a quick thing. No, not that one, this one. If I just go with the Disting Mark IV, this one here. It's got this little dot matrix screen, And if I was to change parameters, you can see the numbers changing there, for instance. But if I hold on to that and turn it, feedback, character, so it gives a scrolling thing there, filter. So we can choose, and I'm pressing down to turn this. So let's have a look. And I think there's what's there, there's six parameters here. So size, the bottom one, this one here, this is always mapped to level, but it does it in an interesting way in that if you put it in the middle, and you might be able to see, yeah, just here, well, just where my finger is, just here, excuse the camera angle, but that there shows the Z knob. And when it's kind of unlit, which you can see it just underneath my finger here, when it's unlit, that means it's kind of in the center. And this is a kind of nifty control. What it means is if I turn it clockwise, it will add the reverb to the dry signal. Like that. And you can see this is lit up red now, indicating, well, it looks orange on here, but indicating that it's the strength. See that? Now, if I turn it to the left, then what it does is it sort of acts like a dry to completely wet. I can see it goes blue instead of red now. So when I turn it all the way anti-clockwise, you get that just wet sound with no dry in there at all. Which sounds awesome, doesn't it? And you know what this is reminding me a little bit of? I watched 2 nights ago the reasonably recent 4K version of 2001 A Space Odyssey, which was made in 1968, and they've just done this really, I think maybe 2019 was it, fairly recent new up, I don't know if they've upscaled, however they've done it, whether it's a new master from the original film. I'm not sure how they've done it. What I would say is it looks absolutely incredible. I mean, what a beautiful, amazing looking film anyway. But the new 4K version is stunning, absolutely stunning. And the thing about 2001, I remember when I first saw it, probably about 1991, I think I first saw it. I couldn't believe how up to date and modern a lot of the looks of it, how it looked, how it's. I thought, wow, for a film from the 60s. Well, watching it now, like 30 years later, it still looks really modern and amazing. Like I was noticing, like in the EVA pod, some of the controls, there's like kind of touchscreen sliders and all sorts of like really up-to-date looking controllers on there. Dave, what are you doing, Dave? It's incredibly ahead of its time. Yeah. It really, really, what a stunning piece of work. And the soundtrack is amazing, isn't it? I mean, ranging from the ballet of like the Blue Danube with the docking sequence through to the intensity of Ligeti and all that. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. So this definitely has got a bit of a vibe of that, hasn't it? Native VS is saying also the use of pitch shifting on Hal's voice. Wagyu says, I love the slit scan effect. Lost art. It looks stunning because it is real miniatures and not horrendous computer-generated nonsense. Well, I don't think the computer-generated nonsense would have worked in 1968, but it has to be said that the psychedelic trip bit... Oh, spoiler alert. Just at the tail end there. Oh, that looks amazing in 4K, but wow. I mean, it still looks amazing. I guess because it's so analog in many ways that's why it hasn't sort of dated like sort of like 90s stuff. But yeah. Something that is cool though, that the latest edition though, the latest one does come with a whole massive bundle of accompanying documentaries and whatnot. Yeah, fascinating stuff. So cheating a bit with all that reverb, isn't it? But what the hell? I'll back the reverb off a little bit. I gotta say, one of the cool things with the Disting EX is these updates, there's no charge for them, you know. So it's a fabulous module that just keeps getting better with each update, really. So that's pretty cool. It's quiet though. I found that in the past. It's just... so what I'm going to do then, I've got something set up. Let me just get some extra cables. Over here, let's have a look if we can see it. A little switcheroo. Here is the limit from DPW, my good friend Dan, who was on the show last week. This is a module. At first, I was a little bit, not underwhelmed by it, but just I thought, I wasn't quite sure what you could use it for. My goodness, it's one of the most used modules I've got. It's just super cool. One of the things that this is really ace for is you can really boost up the level. So it's, you know, not only you can use it as a limiter, you can use it as a booster. And that's exactly what we're going to use it for here. So let's just see. So this is going to come out. I'm just going to do a little switcheroo. Bear with me one moment. And then I'll put that into there. And then I'll just have a bit more level control. There's all sorts of levels, isn't there, in Eurorack, you know. So, you know, very hot levels. So I don't know if sometimes some of the... Let's turn these off a minute. But the limit has a switch which can switch it from like AC into DC. So essentially, you can limit your voltages as well. Oh, let me just turn that down a moment. Just bear with me while I do this, and then I want to come in from this. There we go, and then just need one more long one. If I've got one. Oh, yes, this should reach just about. Yep. All right. Cool. So now this should give us, let's bring that back in. got some noise. Noise! Noise be gone! Where's that noise from? Must be a dodgy cable somewhere. Oh, where's that noise from? Blue. Let's just try and just a different one just in case. Okay, must be a dodgy cable. Maybe it's this, possibly. Oh, sorry about this. Let's get rid of that noise. Let's try that one instead. Oh, 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 patching on the fly. There's still a bit of noise. So. Okay. Oh, I'm covering up the screen. Oh, there's that noise. It's only on this. Oh no. Ah, sorry about this. So that channel's clean. Okay. Out. In. Maybe the cables are all right. Why is there noise? Can we live with that noise? I'm not sure where it's coming from. Have I broken it again? Probably. Okay. Right. Let's get this up here. It's a buffer size. Ah, hang on. Midi ARP transmit. Trying to get it to. Can't seem to get the ARP. Whoa, come on, why is this? I want to get the arpeggiator transmitting. Okay, let's play with some of these other things then. Okay, so one of the things that's kind of cool with this is we can set our input velocity, you know. So at the moment, actually, let's find that on this little screen here. Oh, that noise, that noise. I don't know why it's doing that noise. Oh well. But anyway, yeah. So we can kind of go velocity to level, which is set to 100%. So if we turn that off, so I think they'll just always sound, no matter how hard I play, they'll sound at full volume. However, if we click it one more, we can see velocity to delay. Again, when it's talking about delay, let's think about that as buffer. So what this will mean is probably easier if I was to choose something else that was a bit easier to see, but actually if we look at our little display, no, I thought that might be easier to see, but it's not. To demonstrate this, it would probably be easier to have something that had a definite sense of progress across it. So we'll do something like that in a moment once we start putting our live input into it. But what it means is, if you think about the start of the audio file, or the audio buffer, and the end of the audio buffer, then depending on how hard you hit it, it will play it later on. Or at the beginning, or you can choose with a negative and positive. So I think I will probably go to an audio input in a minute then. So I think that's where a lot of the fun happens. Wagyu saying guitar picks are great for holding down white keys. Are they? Now let's have a look. Let's put Wagyu's. Let's put his advice to the test. Probably need a few, I think. Yes! Quality tip! Yeah, useful. Can you wedge a jack in there? No. Oh, I think that'll break it. I won't do that. Don't want any more breakages on you. Just going to change this angle. Whoa, 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 stay there, camera. Eek. Yes. Okay. Right. Oh, stick them under the front so that two keys either side. Oh, like that. Not sure if I know what you mean. Oh, like that. Oh, like that. Hey, it works. Yeah. If I was Keith Emerson, though, I'd use a knife. I'd use a knife for doing that. How do I not know this? I don't know. Right. Okay. Now let's see. Let us see if we can get this to work. Okay, so let's just pop onto there. And I'm going to negotiate this all the way over. And then we've got our input gain. So let's just try cranking up our input gain. I'm going to turn my normal mic out for a moment. Yes. Hello. Okay, take the effect off. Effect off. Dry. Oh, that noise is doing my napper in. I don't know where that noise is coming from. I'm just going to swap out the limiter. I don't think it's working in this particular case. I'm not sure why it is. I've never noticed that making noise before, but I'm getting noise, so I'm going to just switch that out. Let's see if I can get more gain. Maybe on my mixer. 1, 2, yes, noise. Hello, 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 maximum. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so now, let's try and get these things out of the way. Ugh, cables, horrid. Just moving this out of the way. Oh, F off. Right. Okay. 1, 2, hello. Gain. Hey. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. Okay. So dry gain. Oh, there we go. So I can turn up the dry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, lots of gain. Right. Gain. Dry gain. So let's take the dry gain. Hello. Oops. Gain. Right. Ooh. Seems to. Yes. There's something that we need to do. We need to come all the way over to the end here. And we need to go input mode, mono input. And it's on 0. Yes. Oh, there we go. I'm in the middle. Oh, where's that one coming from? Right. I was zoomed in so much with this one. Okay. Oh, I'm looking forward to this bit. This is the fun bit. Right. Mono input. So now that's my... So it defaults to being stereo input. So flick it all the way back to here. And... too far. Try again. Okay. Yeah. I can back my input gain off a little bit now. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. Ta. All right. Record. So... Record. Yeah. Love. I'm assuming as soon as you press record, it sort of gets rid of. Okay, we got business. Right. That was just a proof of concept. Let's record something in, and I'm going to try and do something with that's got some sense. There's a lot of background noise in there. Maybe I got too much input gain going on. Input gain. I'll take the dry gain out. Oh yeah. Well, without the dry gain, we can't actually monitor what we're doing. So I think that dry gain, let's just put that back up. Input gain. I don't know what the levels are like at all with this, so it's probably a bit of trial and error. Native VS, glad to know I'm not the only one keen on mono sources. Yeah, mono simplifies everything, but I'm such a stereo head. I find that that's one of the things with modular. Stereo is a pain in the bum because there's obviously double cables for everything. I can see why people prefer mono. However, let's see. So, all the 8s, 88. Oh, what is it? 2 fat ladies, 88. It's a bingo. No, I'll do that again. What am I going to do? I know. What do you think about that? Let's see if that worked. Oh no! I changed the knob. I changed the wrong knob. And that went. Gonna have to do that again. You're gonna have to bear with me again. I'm gonna have to do that again. Right. Change the right knob this time. Let's have a look on here. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. So I'm going to discard the microphone and I'm going to see what we can do with this. Oh, this is going to be horrible. So I think if I increase the release like loads, I think it's like almost endless. I think when you put it all the way up. I heard two fat ladies in there. Maybe it's just added things on when I've pressed record. This sounds like Dogfight Giggle off A Wizard of True Star. So we can actually turn a drone on as well with this. So if I flick through this, drone 1 enable, yes. So now if I enable drone 2 and enable drone 3, so we can see that drone... I had two fat ladies. So it added on. I can't believe how close this is to Minions. It did add on, I think. I didn't lose a recording. I think it just added on. Yeah, so the buffer then, it must be every time you press record, just keeps adding on until you clear the buffer. That's cool. I definitely had two fat ladies in there somewhere. That's Zaffin's fault. Right. So drone 3 is set to 12 semitones up, 12 semitones down. Drone 2 is an octave down. Now let's have a look at these levels. Yeah, normalize is on, so that's handy to have. Here's the delay. I needed to enable it before. So you've got like a master delay across here now as well. Oh, this is... effects to save the day. Oh dear! Sold out worldwide, the Disting EX. Is that right? Oh, Tom. Wow. Synth Anatomy, Tom. So these drones then. Okay, let's play. So these are droning now. Now, you can see on the little screen there it says opacity. Now this starts to make a little bit more sense now. If you think about it like a kind of Photoshop analogy, and we've got 3 drones going on, and the opacity then is like kind of how much you can see through those layers. So if with them fully cranked, then let's back them down a bit. So all these are enabled. Let's just make sure they are all enabled, yeah. Okay, now this will be quite fun now. If we start to mess with some of these granulator controls. So I'll do this off the little MIDI controller. Oh, put my hand out of the way. What's most interesting to see? Well, maybe you should. You can see on the Electra One though, I've colour coded things, so the yellow are the things that are the things that control the grains themselves, and then I've like set like envelopes in purple and LFOs in blue. Haha. Oh yes. Need 2 fat ladies to yell into it. Oh yeah. Here they are. Oh yeah. So look, I've reduced the size now. Like, the size being big is taking quite big chunks. This becomes a lot more fragmented down here now. Let's put the pictures of them up. And then change the pitch spread as well. So I'm semitones. Now, let's change those shapes, the shape. See, oh, horrible, but yeah. Okay, this is so just turn them drones off a minute then. Drone enable, off, off, off. Oh yeah, the release. I had the release time right up, didn't I? Whoa! Let's put a slow attack on it. I'm going to take the delay down. I've got the arpeggiator working now. What I needed to do was I needed to change the MIDI channel. I remember now. It can output different MIDI channels, the ARP and the regular channel. So I just set it to the same channel. So we've got an arpeggiator now. Hooray! Sounds like a bunch of Oompa Loompas, nearly in Clanger County there. No. Yeah. So that LFO. I'm just changing a few parameters here. I love these illuminated sockets on the Distings. I just wish that every socket in Eurorack was one. It makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now. Just going to see what happens. This is playing with the delay across crank the delay feedback 100%. Let's verb that out now. Wagyu saying the Electra One seems to make the Disting much more appealing. 100%. And I tell you what, I'm really pleased about was I literally just started mapping it half an hour before I went online, you know. So I was really pleased with the process. So I've got a custom, and as I say, I'm just using one page here, but I could have 12 pages of parameters. One thing the Electra One, this thing here, is really, really good at, and I think it was primarily designed to do, is to be a remote controller for MIDI synths that don't have a lot of hands-on control. So when you go on the Electra One website, I'll just bring this down a moment. When you go on the Electra One website, there's a lot, and it's growing all the time, of a lot of patches available for this, for controlling all sorts of hardware. So it's quite good for things which, you know, like a lot of 90s, quite powerful synths which are in racks that are horrible to use, but have got quite deep MIDI spec. This is more listenable, less beeping and farting. My love affair with the KB37, the Waldorf, this thing here, is starting to, you know, a few things have been annoying me a little bit with it lately. Not least, it's 107 HP, but it feels like it's slightly not wide enough to get it all in. So this module, this one on the end here, is slightly lifted over the edge. It's a bit annoying. But the thing I'm finding most annoying is that it's kind of, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that movement there? It just doesn't feel like that bar has got enough support. It's a really well-made piece of kit. That's what's a bit concerning. Just feel that needs something behind it to brace it a little bit. Nice. So this is that. Now, what I think I'll do now is I'm going to put I'm going to put plats. I'm going to try and do something a bit more musical. So I'm going to run plats through it instead. Now, plats sounds fantastic. I think it's a really, really amazing sounding module. It's new, fairly new to me. It's not a new module, but it's new to me. Volts per octave. Wow. Wow. Hang on. What did I say about making it more musical? This will be quite fun now. So if I record some of this into here. Now, let's just do this. So I'm assuming that that's put that at the end. Yeah, let's have a look at there. So I'm going to take the plats out for a moment. So if I move our buffer, let's take our pitches out. Ah, it's the LFO. The LFO is jumping it. Actually, here we can see the LFO jumping. And I've got the LFO depth. Just trying to remember how to. Oh yeah, I think I can move it to there. Or has it put it at the front of the buffer? It's like mysterious, isn't it? I'm not quite sure how the buffer has worked. Maybe it's just once you set the buffer length, wherever you press record, maybe it just drops in the recording there, because it feels like those. Let's see if I put the thing in the middle there, that's catching the plats, isn't it? The horror always turns into a horror show. Yeah, that's my special. I've decided that's my specialist subject now. I think that's one of the things about Granular that is so fun, though, that it is a lot about exploration. Oh, I didn't give you the Halloween live stream. I'm so sorry. Something happened. That was... And yeah, it is... fairly sick-inducing. DR, it's a Coil album in a module. What's not to love? Got some history with the band Coil. Well, not me directly, but my band, the drummer in my band, Sean. He's had a lot to do with Coil, and over the years, well, Coil are no more, but when they were still alive. Speaking of my band, last week on last Wednesday on the Gaz Williams show, I was talking about the 12-hour single, a 12-hour long song that I took part in the year 2000. I would love it if, I'd love it if more people watched that, because it was. I do notice something that if I'm playing with music technology, 4 times more people will watch it than if it's just me talking about music that I've done or that I'm involved in. So I might have to dupe people in the future and just have loads of things in front of me just so I can talk about the music that I've made. Okay, I'm going to probably end in a moment because I think I've kind of covered the sort of thing I wanted to do. Thank you, Asio Head. You loved the show. I really appreciated that. I really enjoyed talking about it. And it was the first time really in public that it ever been heard. People have been asking me to do a 12-hour long broadcast and play the whole thing. The single coming out on 120-inch vinyl. It's like the Smurfs, isn't it? So I guess, so the spawn mode, if it's mid-grain then, I think it's... Oh, hey, look at that. Oh no, I thought I'd lost it. Right, so I understand one thing now, is if I kind of came out of this now, I could go save, and look, it's saving the buffer. Now it's going to save that nonsense that I've recorded. It's going to save it onto the little SD card that's just lurking just by my fingertip there. Saving it. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it's saved to Gran0001. So with that saved, that thing, which, I'm sure I'll be wanting to use that again. But one of the options here is clear buffer. So if I cleared the buffer, I'm assuming that just did clear the buffer. It's all gone. It's all gone. So I'm going to bring the plats back in because I wanted to try and find something. I'm going to do it post hysteria. So I've got a filter. Oh, no, that's sorry, not hysteria. What am I talking about? I'm going to do it. So it is coming out of eudaimonia. Come on. I can't reach the camera. Yes. Wah. Let's do something like that. Whip. There we go. Okay. So eudaimonia from Dreadbox is a little 3-channel mixer with, let's take the CV out a moment. It's got a low pass and a high pass resonant and a VCA. So it's a really cool module. These chromatic modules represent excellent value for money. They really are. I think this is about 80 UK pounds or something, and it's got analog filter, low pass, high pass, resonant, VCA, say 3-channel mixer. It's got a lot of good stuff. So I'll come out of the output on that one, and then I'll come out of the out of Platts and into one of the channels. Now, let's see. Let's bring this back up. Okay. There's a lot of gain available on the eudaimonia as well, so it's quite easy to Platts. I'm sure many of you will know Platts. Platts is new to me, but Platts is a stunning oscillator. They call it a macro oscillator, and it is jam-packed full of goodness. I'm quite familiar with a lot of the sounds in it from the Arturia Micro Freak, which uses a lot of the same code base, I believe. But basically, you've got, what was it, 8 pitched oscillators and then 8 more noise-based oscillators. I can step through. I should have the list by me, but chords. Different types of chords. And they're labelled frequency, harmonics, timbre and morph, but they do different things really. Those, like the Micro Freak, they just give you a sort of starting point. See, like timbre, for instance. Oh, my hand in a way. So in the sense of chords, picking. What's also nice is the parameters which you can modulate. If you haven't got anything plugged in, but adjust the attenuators, they will do things. Well, should do. Okay. So I'm going to record some of this in. And I'll just do something really mad on the end of here. Something nonsense on the end of there. Okay, so let's take that out. Right, let's see what we can do with that. Max saying, did I get the SD card extension for the Disting that you recommended? Well, I bought one anyway. I bought one for my RC505 that didn't work, so I was going to send it back. I decided to keep it for that purpose, so I hadn't thought to do that. It's a good idea. let's have a little look at what's going on in here. Synth Anatomy, Tom, saying still a big fan of the Granular Max for Live device from Robert Henke. Such an amazing device. Oh man, you know, he's amazing, isn't he, Robert Henke? But my favourite modular software, or well, it has to be software, doesn't it? Granular, sorry. My favourite Granular software is still Borderlands, especially on the iPad. Well, is it on the iPhone? But it is an astounding piece of software. I'm just going to try and clean up a little bit what's going on. Let's get rid of the delay for now. I'm just going to get something. Take the delay out of here. Ah, that's a control I forgot about. Buffer size, which is enabling us to... So, yeah. Going to try and get this to behave. Ah, because it's using this idea of a mean in the term, so pan mean, of course, you would have to set that in the middle. So let's just play with the pan for now, with this, rather. I'm spreading it out now. Okay, so the buffer mean. And the buffer spread. I've got LFOs all off. So the size, you know, as soon as you reduce the size down. Just leave that up for a moment. Great. And let's change those, let's change the shape again. Hang on. Pitch spread. Reduce the size down. So size spread, you can hear there's some little tiny ones. So it gets really spitty, splatty, splitty splats up here. But actually, let's try and get something to, oh. I don't want to repeat myself. I've kind of been here a bit before tonight, so. It's just what I find when you play around with Granular, finding the sweet spot really. Not sure I found it yet. It's nice being able to adjust multiple parameters simultaneously, which I'm doing. I've got my finger on my fingers on about 4 or 5 parameters simultaneously there, using the Electra One. It really needs that effect, doesn't it? At the end, like as soon as I enable the delay, then. Oh, hang on. There's a setting I forgot about. Delay type. I didn't map that one. Ooh. 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 This does a lot in here now, isn't there? Oh, excuse me. Let me just change that delay type. Ping pong. Okay, hang on. Let's soak it in the verb again. I'm just maxing out everything now. Yuck. It's the dreaded having a piss sound. Thank you. No, don't. Okay. And I'm thinking I've just ended up making a horrible sound. I was trying to find something musical, but it's just ended up making me want the toilet. Right. Okay, everybody. I mean it this time. I think I'm going to go. I love the conversation that's going on. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me live again. It really makes a humongous difference. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. As I say, I was meant to be doing something completely different tonight, and but hopefully that will happen next week with a special guest, and something really, really interesting. So please join me next Monday at 10:30 p.m. GMT for a late night Eurorack, well, late night in the UK adventures. I'm going to be back on Wednesday. I'm with my Wednesday show, that's called the Gaz Williams Show, that goes out at 8 p.m. GMT. I'm sure most of you know that now anyway, but I've got a couple of things that I want to do, and I can't decide which one to do. Maybe you could help me decide. I either want to talk about an EP that my band Rocket Gold Star released around the same time as the 12-hour single. It was about a month. The month after, exactly a month later, it came out on 1st of June. And that's an interesting story that I'd like to tell. Or there's some MIDI-based stuff that I want to look at as well. That's something I've been threatening to do more of. With the MIDI-based with the Octatrack. That's one thing. That's another thing. To try and bring the music tech heads back on who don't want to listen to me talk about my band. And I have got some guests lined up as well. So, yeah. So I'm not quite sure what to do. So it'll be one of those things. Why not do the MIDI bass on the Friday night show? Yes, that's a great idea. There's another thing I do want to look at as well, which is the Roland Gr55. Still available, although it isn't from Roland. The Roland Gr55. That's something that I've used. Why not talk about KLF for 3 hours? I could do that. But yeah, the Gr55 guitar synthesizer from Roland is a surprisingly deep synthesizer in there. And I think, I have to say, Electra One, because that thing's a floor unit, it's quite hard to get in and adjust things. There's a third-party editor for it. This is the Roland Gr55 guitar synth. Mapping a load of things to it might be something that could crack it open in ways that I've never managed to do. I've used that thing on with Underworld stuff, and I've used it on lots of big stuff over the years. Haven't used it for a few years, but I was thinking about that the other day, thinking, do you know what? There's a world of wonder to explore in that thing. But I think, Electra One, cracks open those things that are difficult. You'd love the Gr55, says Can Voodoo, so that would be quite cool. Maybe we do that on Wednesday. It's definitely going to be something I'm going to come up. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to do the Gr55 on Wednesday. The reason for this is that EP I was talking about, I wondered about maybe talking about that close to its 21st anniversary. So that's only about a month and a half away or something like that. So maybe I'll do that. And I'm just checking. Hold Your Fire. Are you talking about Rush, Hold Your Fire? I love that album. Anyway, I'm just waffling now. Join me on Wednesday then. I'm going to be back with the Roland Gr55. And I think just to spice things up, I'll have it with my electric guitar rather than with my bass, because I can use it with both. I've got GK pickups for both. So we'll do it with guitar. Let's have some synth and MIDI guitar on Wednesday for the Gaz Williams show. So hopefully you can join me then, 8 p.m. Take care until then, and be nice and lovely to everyone, as I'm sure you are, because you're all really nice and lovely to me. Okay. Oh, don't like saying goodbye when there's so many of you out there and it's all going well. But yes, I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks a lot. And I'm signing out. Oh yeah, can you click like and all that kind of thing as well, and that stuff if you haven't already? I don't know why. I just don't know why. What does it do? What does clicking like actually do? It's meant to be really important. All the channels say it's super important, but I have no idea what it actually does. But if you could do it anyway, it'll make me happy. All right then. Bye-bye, everyone.